Good morning. Ooh, y'all, we are like doing all the things today. I am currently trying to figure out my life, you guys. I feel like I'm taking up too much room in our guest room, so I'm trying to fix my life and just stick myself in a corner. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. I want to come live and just talk to you guys and encourage you. I don't know who needs to hear this, but listen, how you start this Scentsy business, how you started 2020 does not have to be how you finish. Hey, Sylvia, I need you to hear that. I need you to soak that in. Like, it doesn't have to be how you finish, okay? If you started this business as I just want my discount, that's cool. And if you're like, you know what? I think I want to try something different. I think I want to push a little bit harder. Go for it. How you started does not have to be how you finish, okay? It doesn't have to be your norm. Just because you were like sitting here and you're like, I'm just going to be a kidnapper, doesn't mean you can't change your mind. That is the beauty of Scentsy. That's the beauty of having your very own business. You can change it up when you want to. You can say, you know what? I'm ready to become a leader. I don't know if anybody's ready to become a leader. It's kind of like having kids. But you can say, I want something different, and you have the power to do that, okay? So I posted for my team this morning that it's just really cool that we are in control of that. Sometimes we sit here and we make excuses after excuse. I mean, we are just like throwing it all in, and we're like, I just can't because my kids are distance learning. I just can't because I don't know, whatever it is. You're like, you just can't. Like, you broke your arm, okay? Like voice text. You can do it. You can still do it. Where there is a will, there's a way, right? So you can do it as long as you're not making excuses. You have to decide it's time for me to work. It's time for me to pull up my big girl pants or my big guy pants, stop making excuses, and freaking do the darn thing, okay? It doesn't have to be huge. You do your 3 income producing things a day. You focus on your 3 legs of success, and your business will build itself when you're being intentional, when you're putting things in for your PRV, for your parties, right? Loving on your host, offering that kit. All of those things, once they're done intentionally, will completely change the game. Okay, when you stop making excuses, I promise you, that is when your business will change. You control it. So I want to share these facts with you. This is from me, okay? So from November 2019 to November 2020. So a lot of you know I started and I was like, I just want my little $20 kit. I don't want to do anything else with this business. That's it. Then I started paying a little bit more attention around February. And I'm like, wait a minute, like people are making some good money. Hold on a minute. So that's kind of when I started to plug in. I will tell you, I was a lead consultant in 2019, November. I had 3 people who had joined underneath me. Only 1 was active. Today she's a director and she was making bomb PRV. My PRV was less than hers, a lot less than hers, okay? My other 2 teamies were just hanging out. They're just hanging out. I think they just want to be kidnappers. Totally cool. That's up to them. And then my active frontline had a teamie. Okay. So that was my little group. I didn't teach them, talk to them, nothing. I was like, hey, how's it going? Let me know if you need me. That was about it. Okay. So keep that in mind. Your mindset can change. You can sit there and not know what you're doing. That's okay. You will learn eventually. Okay. Once you start pouring into yourself, you start to learn and grow. And this is how much growth can happen, and even more than this, really, but this is how much growth can happen, okay? So in 2019 in November, I was a lead consultant. I had a group of 5. 2020, November, I became a star director. I had a group of 81. I now have a group of 89, okay? I had 1 active frontline in 2019, and in 2020, I had 14 active frontline, 2 generation directors. My GWV in 2019 was 2,620. I'm not laughing at that. I just think it's just such a big difference, you guys, that when I look at it, like it made me tear up when I was looking at it yesterday. I was like, holy freaking cow. If this can happen in 1 year, imagine what can happen in 2. Imagine what can happen in 3 when we don't give up and we take control and we change the game and we change the narrative to putting the work in and being like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going because I want to. I want to, that willpower, okay? So GWV in 2019 was 2,620. GWV last month, 2020, November, was 36,995. Okay? My personal lifetime PRV, I will tell you, I don't want to say I've never been a PRV rock star, but I do try really hard. But in November 2019, my biggest thing was just get your minimum 500 to be paid at title. That was like my goal. Now my goal is a lot different. It's at least 2,000 PRV. Like that is my minimum goal. And that didn't change until May, okay? So my lifetime PRV in 2019 was 7,227. My lifetime PRV, okay, today is 27,772. Y'all, that's a $20,000 or not dollar PRV jump. That's 20,000. That is huge. That's what happens when you're trying to be intentional and you're trying to figure it out. And I will tell you too, like I have 2 local customers right now. 2. That's it. That is me moving on base, moving during COVID into a home. I don't know my neighbors. I've waved, but that's about it. Like, I don't know my neighbors. I don't have ties to this community the way I would like to. Some of y'all are sitting in towns where you grew up, you've been there for forever. You have ties. You have people at local businesses that you could say, hey, can I leave a bowl of samples with my card? Start thinking and utilizing the resources you have, okay? That's one of my things that I'm really trying to focus on for 2021 is finding more small businesses around this area and just like plugging in. But start thinking about this, you guys. You have a leg up when you already know people, when you already have that base, when you have family. I know some people's family don't support them. I get that, I know. But like, I have no family here. I have no customer base here. So it's possible. It's possible. I'm 99.7% run on Facebook. That's my business. There is no bulk orders for me. There is no local customers for me. None. There's none. There's 2. And the one girl doesn't even want to order from the website. She never wants to pick something out from the website. She's only like, well, what do you have? And I'm like, I don't keep stock because I don't have local customers. You're taking from my stock, but it's okay. I'll just order more. Okay? So start thinking outside of the box. Stop saying, I'm so limited. I'm so limited. No, you're not. You guys, if I can be primarily run on Facebook, like, you can do it. You can do it, okay? So 20,000 PRV jump from last year. That's huge. That's huge. And that's a huge mindset shift, too, from let me just hit my minimums as a leader, right? Let me just get that 500 PRV to, no, I'm going to do at least 2K PRV. And I learned my lesson last month, do 2K PRV even with a flip. A party flip or 2 party flips. Learn my lesson. But there's that. Here's the thing is why can't it be you? Why can't you have that kind of growth in a year? Like, why not? Who says you can't? Yes, you can. And you've got to start thinking that way and start thinking in that mindset. If you want to change the narrative, you 100% can. If you're here right now and you're like, okay, that's fine. I literally just want my discount. That's fine. But if it changes next year or the year after, that's okay. That's okay. You guys, if you have to slow down and be like, you know what? I can't do all the things, but I'm going to focus on what really makes my business run. I'm going to be mindful and intentional to keep it so my business doesn't die. That's okay too. But eventually you have to say, I got to get out of my own head and I got to get to work, right? You can't just sit there and say, this isn't working. This isn't working. Hey, Whitney, eventually you've got to say, you know what? Maybe if you want discount for life, get discount for life. But maybe eventually when you're like, I think I want to do something different, you need to know that it's possible. You need to know that you can do it. You need to know that. You need to understand that Scentsy has no ceiling. You need to understand that all it takes is getting uncomfortable, having those conversations. I wrote down this. You should be more afraid of not trying than you should be of failing. What do you have to lose? Nothing. But you got every single opportunity literally at your fingertips, especially right now, right? Everybody's craving all the online stuff. You have every single thing to gain. Everything to gain by having those conversations. And I'm going to throw this out there too. If you're sitting here and you're like, I've literally talked to everybody I know, then you're not talking to the right people. Okay? You're not talking to the right people. Because I'm going to be honest with you, you should stop talking to everybody you know, and you should start branching out eventually to everybody you don't know. You cannot sit here. You will literally outgrow your little network. You can't sit here and just keep saying, I've talked to everybody I know. I've asked all those people that I went to high school with 15 years ago. No, this is when you have that party and you add all those people, whether they ordered or not. You talk to all of those people. You are kind to all of those people. And that's when you're literally making, your job is to make friends with people that you don't know. That's your job. That's your job. And then you get to know those people and you talk to them and they become comfortable with you. And then you ask them about partying and you talk to them a little bit more about their life. You're literally getting paid to make friends. I see nothing wrong with that. That's amazing. But you need to know this growth is possible. And I think when you start changing your mindset of, I don't want to talk to people I don't know, to, I'm going to go make some friends. I'm going to share this blessing of Scentsy with everybody because I know how much it's blessed me. Or if you feel like it hasn't blessed you yet, I see how it's blessing others. Why can't that be me? Because that was my thing. Well, these people are all sharing their checks. Like, dang, how do I get to one of those checks? Why can't that be me? It 100% can be you. 110%, you guys, because that growth is possible. I'm telling you. So be more afraid of not trying and failing. Be uncomfortable and push a little harder. Always, always easy +1. I tell you guys, we do it in our homeschool all the time. My boys are uncomfortable with something or we're learning something new. We go back to what they really, really know. And they're comfortable and they feel super good about it, right? Because they're like, I can do 2 + 1. Okay, great. So glad you can do 2 + 1. Now we're going to hang out there for a second and now I'm going to add one more thing. Well, now let's do 2 × 1. Okay? Once they get comfortable with that, we're going to go to the next thing. Well, now let's do 2 ÷ 1. Okay? It's little steps. You have to do easy +1. So if you're sitting here and you're like, well, I started my business this way. Okay, and you want to change it or you want to go forward in growth and you're like, well, I do want to be a leader. Well, one day I do want to be a director. Well, wait, one day I do want that 2K check plus. Then you have to start with what you already know, your 3 legs, you're partying, okay, you're sponsoring, you start with what you know, and then you're going to add one more thing. So for me, what I do is I know the 3 legs of success. But I'm now identifying weak areas in my business. Okay, well now I know, like I said before, that I do not have the community ties that I want. So now my +1 for this next month, for January, just focusing just on January, is to start mingling with other small business owners. So easy, all the stuff I've been doing, the basic stuff, +1. Okay, you're gonna pick one thing to focus on. Pick one thing to focus on a month. Once it becomes routine and you're like, okay, I think I have my bearings in that, move to the next. You're going to add another one and you're going to add another one. And you're literally going to keep doing that with still keeping the basics and the foundation, and your business is going to explode. But it cannot explode. You cannot have that growth if you are not talking to all the people about partying, if you are not talking to all the people about joining and sharing your Scentsy life. Like, I don't even know how else to explain this. You've got to share what Scentsy's doing for you. You've got to. You've got to share how you're using Scentsy in your life. Because when people see that, they're like, oh, whoa, okay, well, maybe I do need that counter clean. She's only posted about it 15,000 times, and I've seen it. But now it's in my head. Maybe I do need that. Okay, cool. Well, they're going to start buying from it, right? When they start buying that counter clean, you can now branch out into other things. Or you can say, hey, girl, let's get your next order for free. Then when she parties, you'd be like, hey girl, you made this much in your party. You should really think about joining. Look at this customer base that you already have. It's amazing. Okay? You have to be doing those things. Once you're doing those things and then you're teaching your team to do those things, hey, you should be offering this blessing to literally everybody. There should never be a party closed that you're not saying, hey, anybody want to join my team? Hey, this is what Scentsy's done for me. I want to share it with everybody. There should never be a party closed without you offering the kit. If it's qualified, you have a kit to offer. Never, ever, ever. And when you're teaching your team to do that, you are going to see a crazy amount of growth. I'm telling you, because a group of 5 in 2019 to a group of 89 in 2020, like what? What? But it's possible, you guys. You just have to put in the work. So just know that even if you started as a discount, even if you started as a kidnapper. Even if you started as, I have big dreams, but it didn't go the way I wanted it to, you can still pull it around and be like, you know what? I have control of this. Because you do. You are in control of your own Scentsy destiny. And if you're like, no one wants to party, no one wants to join me, then you ain't asking enough people. 100%. You're not asking enough people. I will tell you guys, I asked so many freaking people to party the end of November for December and January that I went back to go ask them to book a party in January like other people. And I was like, ooh, I didn't even realize I already asked that person. I had no idea. They didn't even respond to me. No idea, because that's how many people I asked. 1 in 10. So if you're like, I literally talked to 10 people, nobody wanted to party, nobody wanted to join, okay, talk to 10 more. Our statistics are 1 in 10 will say yes. That is why we tell you to go for the no. You want to change your business, you want to do something different, you've got to go for the no. You've got to. You got to just keep pushing and go for that no, because it is possible, okay? That is the biggest thing. I'm telling you, when I looked at these numbers yesterday, I was just like blown away. And I was talking to my husband about it, and I said, dude, that's insane. Like, that's an insane amount of growth. That is just an insane amount of just change, really change in my mindset and the leaders on my team, on their mindset, some of our new people's mindsets. Like, some of them, I mean, we're just putting it out there like, hey, sponsor from the get-go. Right? You have a launch party. Guess what that means? You have a kit to give. Sponsor from the get-go. Let's go. Because when you have someone beside you pushing you, right? And you have someone beside you doing this business with you, you're going to be more likely to succeed because you want to do it with them. You have literally an accountability partner for you guys to work side by side. Like, it's all about your mindset and changing it and realizing you have the control of your own Scentsy destiny. You just have to put in the work and stop making excuses. So however you started, wherever you're at now, in the middle, you guys, it can change. It can change. It's not how you have to finish. So I will leave y'all with that. I hope y'all have a wonderful Christmas week, and I will see y'all probably next week sometime. Y'all have a good day.